Super Radio Brothers!
It's time for the Super Radio Brothers. I think the one just had an accident.
And so far, it's the Tampa Bay Lightning, broadcasting from strategic locations all across the empire. It is the Super Radio Brothers. And yeah, a little bit of an accident there. The first two periods, Game 1, Eastern Conference Finals, Stanley Cup. Trent, the Rangers are up 4-2 over your world champion Tampa Bay Lightning with one period to go.
Yeah, they are. It's tough to watch right now, but you know what? It's only game one, and it's only two periods. The Tampa Bay Lightning, just like the New York Rangers, are used to coming back. So hopefully they can come back. The Rangers, you just look at this series really quickly. Of course, we're just full disclosure, we are watching this game live. If you're listening to the podcast right now, we are two periods into game one, and we are during the intermission right now, just starting the program.
Yeah, so we don't know what happened yet, Trent. So if you're listening to the podcast, don't ruin it for us. We don't know what happened yet.
If you're listening to the podcast, spoiler, and if you don't know what happened yet, spoiler alert, turn it off right now.
Yeah,
that's my thing. If you're like my grandfather and records like several sporting events at one time, but he doesn't get to some of them until like 2 days after they happen, and he gets upset whenever you give the score. Yeah, just I'm giving you a full warning right now. He literally does that, Rich. Like, he'll record an NBA Finals game, but he won't watch it until like Friday or Saturday.
Oh, my
or
goodness.
Like 2
How
days
do you
after
avoid? I'm sure he's not a social media person then if you can avoid a final score for that long.
Yeah, well, sometimes he finds out what the final score is just by listening to the radio, and then he says, "Well, I still want to watch the game anyway because I want to know I want to know how it got to where it was." I'm like, okay. All right,
I remember working in Midtown Manhattan, beginning my journey back to the Bronx. I have a game recording, and what I would actually have to do to avoid a score, because Trent, there were cabs with digital displays above the cabs that give the scores. So by accident, I could just look at a cab and see Yankees lost 7-2 against the Blue Jays, and it's ruined, or any score. So you'd have to keep your head down, eyes almost closed until you get to the 6th train. You get to the subway and get home safely without seeing or hearing what the score was. But it was very difficult living in New York, going from Manhattan to the Bronx, to not know what the score was.
But don't you hate it when like you feel bad because people like inadvertently, they have no idea that you're recording the game, but then again they say the score just because they're fans just like you. They're like, "Oh, the Yankees, they're losing. What a tough night." And then you look at them and you're like, "You son of a gun."
Yeah, I totally blame them. How dare they? How do you know what I'm up to? How do you know if I know what the score was? Maybe I recorded it and I'm trying to go home and enjoy 3 hours of baseball with the mystery of who won this game. That's what I want. That's how I'm going to enjoy it.
So whenever I record games or whenever I don't want to know the score of a certain event till I get home, I put my phone on Do Not Disturb because obviously, my iPhone is busy most of the day, especially when it comes to like a full days of baseball. And there are some games that, I can't actually watch live. So I have to, set alerts on my phone to make sure they give me score updates. Well, of course, I get alerts every day for the Tampa Bay Rays, no matter who they're playing, because I have them set as one of my favorites because obviously they're my favorite baseball team. In case you didn't know that already.
I didn't know. That's a surprise to me. I thought you were a Miami Marlin fan.
No way. Are you kidding me? Well, the Marlins, they're not doing too bad this year.
I was like, oh, you're the one.
Oh, I'm the one. Yeah,
you're exactly the fan that they have. Wow.
Yeah, just one. I go to every game. They have cardboard cutouts of me in the seats.
That's entertaining. Remember they did that? That was pretty cool.
Yeah, for COVID, they still kept it alive because I'm the only Marlins fan. So when I can't come to games, they have cardboard cutouts of me in the stadium.
They were like, "This is a great solution to not having fans. We could make fans out of cardboard." That's amazing.
What a concept!
Yeah.
Oh my word! But but I'm serious. Like whenever I record events on my DVR, I turn my phone. I don't like to turn it completely off in case I need to call somebody if I'm out and about doing things. But I literally put it on Do Not Disturb, or I turn notifications off so that they don't send me notifications, so that I don't, because the last thing I want is my phone to send me notification and my screen reader reads everything to me. So I don't want it to read me the score and I accidentally hear it. And then like you, it's ruined for me.
That's a rough one. Yeah. I bet you that's happened a couple of times.
Yeah. And trust me, I'm not in a great mood after it does happen. So just be aware.
Yep. Oh, well, I'll try to avoid you when that happens. Just warn me, Rich. You know that thing where the screen reader read the score and I didn't want to hear the score? When that it just happened, and I'll know to leave you alone.
Yeah, it just happened, and I'm pissed beyond belief.
Yeah, and I'm so freaking pissed.
Yeah, I would be freaking pissed.
Well, let me ask you, when that happens, can you still watch the game?
I might turn it on for a little. It depends on what the score is. If the Rays were blown out, I mean, the story is kind of told with the score, like if the Rays are blown out, like if I found out they were losing like 8-2 or something, I'm not watching this. But if it's like even if the Rays lose and it's like a close game or something, if it was like a 2-1 game, or even if the Rays were on the winning side of like a 1 or 2 run ball game, I mean, yeah, I'll fast forward to kind of see the plays and kind of see what happened. But I'm not as into it as I would be if I didn't know the score.
See, for me, there's no way I'm going to watch the game. I hear the score, whether the Yankees blew the team out or the team blew the Yankees out. All I'm going to do is go watch the highlights now. I'm not going to actually watch the game if I know what the score is. And that's what's so frustrating about it, because guess what? I was planning on watching that replay tonight and it just got ruined.
Yeah. And the person who ruins it for me, even if it's my screen reader, I will not talk to them for a few days.
I mean, for me, it might be years. I'm just saying it might be years. That's how angry I would be.
I don't ever want to be a part of that.
Don't ruin a score for me, Trent.
No, I will not. Before I ask you if you want to know the score of something, I'm going to say, are you recording it? Because I'm giving you a disclosure now. I'm more than happy to give you the score.
Well, you just got to tell me spoilers, and I'll scream at you. No spoiler.
Spoiler.
Yeah, no spoiler. Okay, no spoiler at all. So that's what's going on right now. Trent and me, the Super Radio Brothers, we're hanging out here tonight doing the podcast, episode 303, watching Rangers Lightning, Game 1, Eastern Conference Stanley Cup Finals. Oh, and there's also a lot of news going on out there in the world. Yeah, that's right. That did happen, and now it's over. Okay, from this hell we call Earth, it is the news, Trent.
Yeah, and I hope that I hope the Lightning's performance doesn't get flushed down the toilet after tonight's game.
Well, so far they're struggling, down 4-2. Do you think 9 days off might have something to do with that, Trent? We were talking about that before the game, and I didn't think it would matter. And you could still say it doesn't matter. You could say, well, the Rangers are just playing really good at home tonight. And they've been a good home team. You look back to that Carolina Hurricane series, every team won the home game until Game 7. So Rangers have been good at home in the postseason so far.
Absolutely, yeah. It should be relatively interesting for sure. And I don't know for sure. I'll get more into it definitely. As the night goes on, but you talk about my concern was a little bit, but this would have been, and I'm talking like it's over. It's not over, but
it's not over.
Game 1 would have been a great one. It should be, if they're able to do it, would be a great game to steal. And the reason I say that is because the Rangers have had only 1 day's rest, and the Lightning have had the playoff experience, so they've had rest and they know how to deal with rest during the playoffs. I think it's a combination of both the Rangers playing well and the Lightning, kind of being a little sloppy with the puck at times, kind of getting out of their own zone. They're slow at getting out of their own zone. They're slow in getting into the Rangers zone, which is causing them to give up several goals. But they're only down 4-2 right now. If they keep if they put the pedal to the metal and play the hockey that they played against the Florida Panthers, then they got it covered. But in terms of the overall outlook of the series, I will touch more on that when we get on the sports. But it's going to be a little bit of an interesting show with us kind of breaking in with scores, especially during the third period. And I hope it's an eventful third period.
And in much more important and serious news, Kansas police identify poopatrator who defecated in a Wichita beauty store.
Oh, my gosh.
A poopatrator, Trent. It's such an epidemic of public pooping in this country that they've literally created a word called poopatrator. I think it's in the dictionary now.
Didn't they get that from perpetrator?
It's a poopatrator.
Okay.
It is a play on words, Trent, but what I'm telling you is that it is now actually a word in Webster's dictionary.
Do you use it often? Is that going to be your new term?
Poopatrator?
Yeah.
It's possible. It could be something. It could be a reoccurring theme on this show, the poopatrator. So.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's important. I like that, though. Poopatrator. Okay. Trent,
okay.
Police in Wichita released photos of a woman who they believe destroyed 8 different wigs. How dare she? Through her actions at the store on May 10th, authorities say the woman defecated, and again, I'm pretty sure that means she pooped, in the middle of the aisle where the wigs were located.
Ugh.
So, I mean, I don't know what the motivation is here. Let's read on, shall we, Trent, to see if a motivation...
I'd like to know.
Yeah. I mean, generally, we all know what the motivation for pooping is. I mean, you got to go, right? There's a feeling, and in this case, I'm not so sure. The Wichita Police Department said that the woman entered a beauty supply store on May 10th and defecated in the middle of the aisle. The department's Facebook account joked, "We've already confirmed that this is not Amber Heard." So that was their big joke, because she pooped in the bed and all that, right? So
yes, yeah,
that's what they're talking. And apparently, it was open mic hour on Facebook with comments such as the police department. They said this might be one of those cases that stick with us. Okay, I don't get that one so much, but that was their sly response, Trent. It's a unique case.
You know it's bad whenever you have an open mic night on Facebook. But
that's reserved for Twitter, not Facebook.
Exactly. You need it on Twitter. I like Twitter. I use it occasionally.
Yeah. But nobody uses Facebook anymore, Trent.
I mean, I do, but I'm old school. Is Facebook considered old school now?
Facebook is, I think Facebook is considered to be for old people, and other things like Twitter and what's the other one? Instagram. TikTok. That's for young people. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I don't really have any interest using Instagram or anything.
You don't dance on TikTok, Trent?
No, I'm not on TikTok.
You don't got the moves?
Nah, I don't do that. My luck, I would take a picture and it would do something with like the wall of my house instead of taking a picture of my face or something.
Well, you should get that camera up, try to bust a move a little bit. You never know, you might create quite a stir.
Yeah, I wonder what would happen if you posted a video on TikTok, and do you think it would go viral?
Yeah, the thing is, I'm such a great dancer. I don't think it would stand out so much. It'd be like, oh, look at this guy. He's a world-class dancer. So what? I think it would be better if I was a bad dancer.
It would be.
Then I could.
I could just see that right now. People, video goes viral. A bad dancer on TikTok.
Bad dancer makes headlines for being bad. Well, I'm going to stick in the poop arena, Trent, and I'm going to talk about unique beers, but These unique beers are made from human urine. Human urine, Trent.
You mean urine?
Oh. Wait,
Ooh.
They're talking about pee?
Yo, P. P-E-E. Yeah, it sounds urine. It sounds like urine.
Oh, excuse me. Urine. Unique beers are made from human urine. Would you drink that, Trent? Would you drink urine beer?
Depending on what the name of it is.
Wait, it's the name matters?
No, I mean the name doesn't necessarily. I mean it just depends.
What if I told you, here, Trent, have a 12-ounce. Here, Trent, here's a pint, and the Rangers score to start the third period. 30 seconds into the third period, 5-2 Rangers. If there was any doubt. Oh my!
Yeah.
Sorry, Trent. You were having all that fun, and I just brought you down.
Nah, stuff happens.
You want to tell the people about how you feel?
No, I'll save that.
Okay. but how about so back to the pea beer? Yeah, if I told you, here, Trent, have this pint of pea beer, would you drink it?
No, I would not.
All right. So and what about it if I told you, here, Trent, have a pint of this electric awesome beer? Would you try it?
I'm not a big beer guy, to be honest with you. So I don't know. I mean, you never know. I'm always up for trying stuff, but probably not when it comes to beer. I like.
You wouldn't try electric awesome beer?
Electric awesome beer? No,
yeah, that's the name
not.
of the beer. I'm trying to, because you said it's about the name, so I'm trying to figure out what the name of the beer.
Electric awesome beer? No, yeah. I would not try.
You would not try electric awesome beer?
It sounds too corny to me.
So what would be a cool name for a beer that you would drink?
If it was like the manly beer,
manly beer. That's actually, damn, you're good.
Yeah, I know. If it was a manly beer, yeah, I would probably try it.
There are like 30 different brewers out there that are like, shit, why didn't I think of manly beer? It's the best name for a beer ever. Try my manly beer. So, okay, manly. Trent, I approach you. I say, here's some manly beer. It's really good. Oh, but it's made from human urine. Would you still drink it?
I'd be out. Nope. No. Human urine? I don't think so.
I think I would drink any urine beer as long as I was assured it's not urine from someone I know, because then that would just be weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to drink Trent beer, but if it's somebody I don't know, maybe I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. Don't do that. Don't drink my beer.
So here you go. So this is beer made from urine. Not only that, Trent, but people also drink and like it. This is something that people like, and I'm pretty much shocked by that. But as you know, beer is usually prepared from fruit and barley water, but new experiments going on. Recently, a unique beer has launched in Singapore. It's called New Brew. It's being prepared from sewage water. Even after this beer is being said to be eco-friendly, New Brew is prepared from a special type of liquid. In this, the water and waste of the drains are recycled, and the beer is made by filtering. The name of this particular liquid is Nevada. This beer is made of about 95% of new water, which I guess is this filtered water made from sewage pee. Purpose of making this beer is to create awareness about water problems, apparently. So at the moment, beer from urine is making headlines all over the world, including on the Super Radio Brothers. All the parameters have been taken care of in terms of safety and making it, in terms of the way this beer is becoming a topic of discussion all over the world. This beer can be seen not only in Singapore, but also other parts of the world. So I didn't know this, Trent, but apparently, according to this article, a lot of people are talking about pea beer.
I'm sure it sounds like a new trend.
It's a new trend. It's a new trend. And it's not just about pea beer, okay? A pea's a huge thing. Right now, Michigan researchers are using pea as fertilizer for plants.
Whoa.
I used to think that only poop would work as fertilizer. Now apparently pee works too. So that now I'm peeing all over the place on my property, dude.
Well,
I mean,
at least you have it from both ends.
I'm peeing right now.
Oh, so, I bet.
Yeah,
I can hear it in the background.
Yeah, it's going on. So I just don't want to disturb you, but this is something that hey, is going to make my plants grow. I'm going to pee on them. So
yeah, it's pretty disturbing.
This is science. To continue the pee science, this is the pee show, Trent. Okay, urine show. Did you know dolphins identify family and friends by tasting their urine? And it's not even beer, it's just urine?
Whoa.
Yeah. This is
You're
real.
Kidding.
No. Me, kid? Are you kidding?
No, not you.
Researchers have discovered that dolphins identify family and friends by tasting their urine. So, and it's not the only thing. I also heard recently that humans identify each other by tasting urine. So through drinking beer. So it's something that's happening, dude.
Without question. But
that's all the pee I got, Trent. That's all the pee I got.
Well,
I got more actual pee, but story-wise, I could pee, but
yeah. Well, that TMI. But yeah, we got
hear the newscast. There's never enough information, Trent.
Yeah. So
Shesterkin, Igor Shesterkin. Right now, who's on the Trent? The Tampa Bay Lightning have been on a power play for the past 2 minutes. They have not scored. 9 seconds left on the power play.
I know they're not scoring at all right now.
Not happening.
It's bad. 5-2 in the third period. But okay, while they're on the power play, we can talk about this.
Okay.
According to the Conrad Public School District in Conrad, Montana, there's an old law on the books that stipulates that a school principal is responsible for feeding and tending to a horse if a student rides a horse to school. On May 23rd, WTHR TV reported that 12 students at Conrad High School put the statute to the test, riding their horses and leaving them in the care of principal and Raymond DeBruecker throughout the school day.
Well, how about if I brought my dog to school? Maybe someone could feed my dog.
I mean,
how old is this law? Do we know? This sounds like something that was around in the 1800s. A horse is a horse, of course, but nobody, blah, 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 blah. So, of course, unless, of course, the famous Mr. Ed. You ever see that show, Trent? Mr. Ed?
Oh, yeah, I've seen it. I'm Mr. Ed. Yep, absolutely. Yep, I've seen Mr. Ed. I wish
Mr. Ed was my horse and he took me to school.
The story goes on to say that the principal had no time to comment because he was in the middle of taking care of the horses, and that's all he cared about.
Dude, with gas prices today, I think I should take a horse to work.
Oh yeah, you can take it to work.
You could probably get a bike right now for the price of a tank of gas. You know what I'm saying?
If you had to be in the studio by this coming Monday, you would have to leave like right about now while we're doing this show in order to get there on time.
On horse? Nah.
Yeah.
We get there. We get there. We're talking about 15-minute drive. I guess becomes something like an hour or so. I think that horse will get there. Yeah. I think that horse will get there.
We'll see.
I wonder what is more expensive these days, getting a tank of gas or feeding a horse.
I wonder how many pee breaks he's going to have along the way.
Well, they could walk while they poop. I've seen it. So it's not going to slow it down much. That's pretty talented. I can't poop while I walk. I could try, but it would be weird.
I would hate to see the end result of that.
That would be good. That would be kind of dirty. Yeah, that's messy. That's messy.
Yep.
Trent, I am a big fan of the Guinness World Records. I think they're extremely fascinating. Some are useless, but some are world-changing. And I don't have one of those right now. This is pretty weird. A French man bungee jumps from a Scottish bridge 765 times in 24 hours. In 24 hours, Trent. And let me tell you something right now. There's no way this man is the same after that. it's got to be a tragedy, or he's going to become a serial killer. Or something's got to be really wrong in his head at this point to jump off a bridge 765 times in 24 hours. There's clearly got to be something wrong with him after doing that. You're not the same person after doing that.
Oh yeah, no, 765 times. Yeah. That's like how can you jump off so many times and not have how can you not land wrong, or how can you could have the perfect jump the first few times, but next thing you know, just one lapse of balance and one lapse of judgment, if you will, could hurt you for life.
He's got it, and he beat the previous record of 430 jumps. And Trent, I have an announcement to make. Maybe next week I will break my own record of 0 jumps. I'm going to get out there and get one one bungee jump. Why not? Bucket list thing. I'm going to jump off a bridge.
Where are you going to go to do it?
Do they have bridges in Florida? I gotta figure it out. I gotta pick one.
Yeah. You got to go figure. Yeah, it's hey, you did go across a bridge, didn't you? Whenever you were in Tampa, you went across one of those high bridges.
It's not very high though, the ones. It seemed like I would just jump in the water,
Yeah, you would. Yeah, the Gandy Bridge, the Howard Franklin Bridge. You got so many down there in Tampa that you were amongst it all.
I was down there. I saw it all. And not once did I think about jumping off of one of the bridges.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, but now I am. This is a thought in my head, and I'm going to do it for humanity because it's very important to break these boundaries, and maybe it'll help me learn something about myself, Trent, to jump off a bridge. What do you think?
Yeah, why not?
I'm bungee jumping. So
yeah,
what else you got there?
Okay, well, a man in Japan. Identified as Tokoi, that's his name.
Good name.
And I'm sorry, not Tokoi, Toko.
Trent, it's turning into a massacre. I'm sorry to say, it's 6-0 Rangers now, 6-2 Rangers now.
It's done. It's over. I'm sorry.
So only game 1, as you said. Only game 1.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody expected this type of performance to start off the series. But it's definitely, if I'm John Cooper and the Lightning at this point, you're not coming back from four goals down. You got to look at the big picture. You got to pull Vasilevsky. You got to pull some starters, I think, at this point to get yourself rebound and get yourself ready for game 2.
Yeah, right now Vasilevsky has 27 saves and 6 have gone through, and surprising. Because we know the Rangers aren't a great defensive team. Shesterkin's only faced 28 shots. He's saved 26 of them.
Yeah,
we saw the Rangers in a game against the Penguins give up 70 shots on goal. So
I know.
Pretty surprising that Tampa Bay has generated so little action in front of the New York net.
Yeah, but then again. Excuse me. Then again, you have to. You got to look at also.
Are you okay, Trent? Did you take losing makes Trent sleepy? Just so you guys know, there's an allergy to it, and when his teams tell them, Trent. Whenever I've been talking to Trent when the Rays are playing and they lose and he just knocks out. It's amazing. He just falls asleep right there on them. Trent.
Might as well. Yeah, I've been falling asleep on the phone. You'll hear me, the Rays are losing 5-1. Yeah. Next thing you know, and then you'll hear nothing but snoring.
Strike 3, and that's the final night of the 9th inning. He's done.
Yeah. Well, shoot, that's okay. They'll come back, but the thing is with the Lightning, the Rangers have had momentum because they've been playing, and when you're hot, sometimes taking a few days off can actually hurt you, believe it or not. And we expected going in that there would be a little rust, but maybe there's more than anticipated, and the Lightning have got to get back to fundamentals, and they have to try to pick up where they left off against the Panthers and stuff like that. But hey, look, it's only game 1. We'll see what happens. I just hope John Cooper's smart about it for the next 10 plus minutes in the third period. I hope he kind of takes some guys out, gives them some rest, and gets them ready for game 2. Because after the Lightning will not suffer back-to-back losses, and I'm going to go ahead and say that right now.
Oh, bold statement.
They will not suffer back-to-back losses. They are going to steal one at MSG.
All right.
And
I would take it even further, Trent, to say that hey, Tampa Bay Lightning fans, nothing to worry about. You know this series is going 7. Every single series the Rangers plays in, every single series that the Rangers play in goes 7 games. So this is just the beginning, of course.
Yeah, the thing is, like the Rangers and the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Rangers and the Hurricanes, they had to come back from several pretty significant deficits to win those series. So could you say that they are the comeback kids?
All right. So I'm sorry, Trent. I've once again interrupted your news story with another Ranger goal. That's got to be rough. So please pick up where you left off. Where were we?
Is it 7-2?
It's 6-2. No, it was not another Ranger goal there.
Okay, you scared the living daylights out of me. Okay, good.
There's still 14 minutes left in this game, so who knows?
Yeah, okay. Where am I start? Okay, I got it. According to the Conrad Public, no, I'm sorry, no, never mind. That was a failure, a producer failure. I had just read that story.
Damn producer! Let's get him.
Let's see. A man in Japan identified as Toko has spent almost $16,000 to make himself look like a collie, fulfilling his dream of depleting his savings.
What? A collie?
Yeah, that's what it's saying.
Like the dog collie? Like what's a collie?
It did not identify, but I'm assuming that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like Lassie, because Lassie was a collie.
A collie? Yeah.
You need a lot of hair, shaggy hair. You know, I can see how it could cost $16,000 to make yourself look like a collie.
Well, he wanted to deplete his savings in one fell swoop.
Well, good for him. You know, you got to do what makes you happy. What can I tell you? You know, it might be something that's weird to me, but if it I think I've done this before, but I'll say it again. In the great words of Sheryl Crow, if it makes you happy, it can't be that bad, Trent. You're ready. 3, 2, 1. If it makes you happy, it can't be that bad. Man, I'm a good singer. Did you enjoy that, Trent? That was for you. No, I did. I did not enjoy that. I'm sorry to report. Sorry to be as honest as I am, but I did not. That was a little scary. More. I'll be thinking about it tonight when I sleep. You know, have nightmares and everything. And all of a sudden I'll hear it makes you happy. I'm gonna be in your head.
I know.
I've ruined that song for the rest of your life now. Every time you hear it, you're gonna hear me singing it.
Yeah, it's sad.
I'm sorry, nobody wants. It's a good song. I'm sorry I ruined that song for you. I really am.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear you sing. I'm sorry, but
I used to think that people would pay to hear me sing.
How many do you think people would come from miles around to hear you sing?
Yeah, from miles and miles and miles.
Maybe what, a half mile?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe if they lived down the block, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Your neighbor would come over and have a beer with you and listen to you sing. So
I'll sing to anybody. I'm going to go to the supermarket and sing just so that people can hear me.
You'll be one of those guys that stands outside of Publix or Walmart and just starts singing. And you should bring like an amplifier, bring a microphone out there, just start singing, and maybe people stop. Maybe people stop and listen to you and cheer you. And there could be others flipping you the bird.
I only play the cowbell, so I don't need an amplifier.
Okay.
It's just my voice and the cowbell, and I go at it.
Very interesting. So no matter what key you're singing in, the cowbell is going to follow suit.
It's a unique style. You know, I'm a unique artist. It's what I do.
Yeah. But anyway, yes, it's he wanted to. This is a costume apparently of like a long-haired dog, and he said,
yeah,
he said
he wanted
Trent
Lassie, yeah.
Yeah, he said. By the way, it took him 40 days to build this collie, and it said that he appreciates long-haired dogs, so that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to make sure that they were revived. So,
Trent, you ever heard of Lassie?
Oh yeah, I used to watch it all the time. It was a TV series.
Lassie's a hero. Everybody wants to own a Collie after watching Lassie. Come here, boy. Yeah. And Lassie somehow understood English, and could speak, and everybody would understand the dog. Like, someone's in trouble, Lassie? We got to go help them.
Yeah, we got to go help them.
Great
Somebody's
show.
In trouble. Yeah. I watched that. That was one of my. That wasn't my go-to, but I definitely watched that series as a kid.
This guy must be what was his name? Oki.
Toko.
Toko must be a huge Lassie fan. Definitely.
He must be. Yeah.
He should be a Collie. It's a beautiful dog. It looks like it sheds, though. Might be a problem. Looks like it sheds. Yeah. And now you shed too, because now you're a Collie. So it's a problem.
Lightning fans don't shed tears tonight. That's all I ask.
Well, it's only game 1, Trent. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay, Trent. It's game 1.
You're not going to have me talk now. If this was an elimination game, that would be sad.
I know you probably won't want to do the show and watch the Lightning game again because it seems like bad luck, maybe.
How
would you feel? I'm the type of fan, Trent, something like that happens, there's no way I'm doing this again because I look at it as bad luck.
We keep records of pretty much everything, and this would make me 1-1 while doing the Super Radio Brothers and watching a Tampa Bay Lightning game because the game against the Florida Panthers, that was game 2.
That's a good point, yeah.
A couple weeks ago, Andre Palat scored. Andre Palat. Yeah, he scored the winning goal for the Lightning with like 0.3 seconds left, and the Lightning ended up winning the game by a 2-0. Or what was it? Was it 2-0? No, it was like 2-1 or something like that. I can't remember.
It was tied late, and they hit that goal.
It was 2-1.
3 seconds.
Yeah,
left.
It was 1-1, and they ended up winning 2-1. But hey, look, that's we'll see. So I had to transition from the Lightning to talk about Collies. That's what that was.
Oh, that's fantastic. A Collie man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Trent, how about this dude? 78-year-old California man walked across the stage along his high school's class of 2022. He finally graduates. He finally gets his diploma.
Hold on, that doesn't add up. 78-year-old man graduating in 2022.
Well, sometimes he might have started school a little late, but no, that's not why here. 60 years. He receives his diploma 60 years after he was prevented from graduating over $4.80 fee for not returning a library
My
book.
great-grandparents were married longer than he waited to receive his diploma.
I don't know how it takes so long. He said, over the years, I complained to my kids a number of times about how $4.80 kept me from having my diploma. Why didn't he just go to the school and give them $5? Pick up his diploma.
I don't know.
Why did it take 60 years?
And I understand where he's coming from because a lot of times when, at least whenever before I went to the school for the deaf and blind, before I went to public school, and every time you checked like books out from the school library, they make you have like a certain amount of time where you can have it before you have to either take it in to renew it or you have to take it in to return it. But if you don't turn it in on time, you have fees that build up. Well, apparently he didn't turn his book in on time, so it was like a $4.80 fee, and they said, "Okay, we're not going to let you graduate until you turn this thing in." So
I wonder what book it was.
I don't know. I would hope it'd be worth every penny. Well, it's definitely not now, especially whenever you
probably never finished reading it. That's why you just hold on to it. You hope you get to it.
Yeah. I wish the stories would tell us. I wish this would tell us what book it was, so we can make a judgment as to whether it was worth it or not.
That's true. There would definitely be a clear answer there if it was worth it or not.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, $4.80. Finally, 60 years later, he gets his diploma at the age of 78. Unbelievable. That happened back in 1962. He couldn't get his diploma. Amazing. And by the way, he accepted the diploma, the exact same diploma that was locked away 60 years ago in a filing cabinet. So
wow,
pretty amazing when you consider that. You have any more stories, Trent, for our news segment?
Yeah, hold on. Let me just pull another one up here. If you give me 1 second.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah. There you go. All right. So,
it worked. Florida that was my time filler for Trent to find this story. I thought it was
Florida International University. This will be the last one on my end. Florida International University recently published a 3-year study of bonefish living off the South Florida coast that might make you rethink your entree order.
Ooh,
the fish they studied averaged 7 pharmaceutical drug with one containing 17 different substances. ClickOrlando.com reported. Jennifer Rehage said that the drugs are entering the fish through the wastewater systems, including blood pressure medicine, antidepressants, and antibiotics and other pain relievers.
So basically, all this stuff is getting flushed down the toilet, and the fish are consuming it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So that's why they always tell you, if you have medicine, then
go eat fish because they eating it in the sewer.
Yeah, don't flush it down the toilet, whatever you do.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's not good, right? You're not supposed to flush medicine down the toilet because then you're going to get the fish high.
Because during drug take-back day, they make you take it somewhere, and in order to do that, you don't flush it down the toilet because it ruins the environment.
Yeah, you want to get the fish high. That's dumb. That's
so
dumb.
bad.
Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah.
Those fish,
they're
freaking innocent. And you know what else is innocent, Trent?
What?
A piece of art. And finally, what an interesting ruse here. A man.
By the way, do you like art?
Do I like art? Well, it depends on what type of art you're talking about.
Do you like physical art? Do you like sculptures and things like that?
Sure. I mean, usually if it's a painting of a bunch of dogs playing poker, I'm really into it. Or anything that shows food, donuts, stuff like that. I get into it. I could look.
How about Leonardo Da Vinci's Mona Lisa?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And in the words of Bob Dylan, Mona Lisa must have had the highway blues. You can tell by the way she smiles. So I'm just saying, a man disguised as an elderly woman in a wheelchair, Trent, smeared cake across a piece of glass that protects the Mona Lisa at Paris's famous Louvre Museum, and was sent for a psychiatric evaluation. Authorities, they had to send, because why would you smear cake on the Mona Lisa? Luckily, it had bulletproof glass, but witnesses, Trent, they said he was trying to smash that glass and eventually gave up and just put cake on it. So,
oh man,
yeah, that's
how dare you do that to a memorable, one of a kind piece of art in the Mona Lisa?
Yeah, it's incredible. It's well, I think one of the things is just the history behind it, and of course that it was Leonardo Da Vinci, who's such a mysterious, amazing, a scientist and artist, one of those really incredible guys in human history. Anything created by him, to see that with your own eyes is, I think, what makes it special. And yeah, the Mona Lisa is one of those pieces of art. Well, here you go. Painted by Leonardo da Vinci, Mona Lisa, believed to have been created between 1503 and 1506, considered by many to be the world's most famous and most visited work of art. Bulletproof glass was placed over the painting after 2 attacks in 1956, when it was splashed with acid and chipped with a rock. Now, why would people attack this piece of art? I don't get it, Trent.
I don't either. That's you have to preserve the classics, and that, folks, is
the Mona Lisa. Every time I see the Mona Lisa, I hear a voice in my head, and it goes, "Oh, it's the Mona Lisa! How grand!" Does that make sense? That's what I hear. That's the voice I hear in my head. Yeah, no. Well, it makes sense. It makes sense to me and my dog. That's the voice I hear in my head when I see the Mona Lisa. Oh, Hello, Trent. It's the Mona Lisa. Maybe I'll can I do the rest of the show with that voice? I'm really into it now.
I'd rather you not. But thank you.
What? You should enjoy the voice, Trent. It's a new me. As a matter of fact, oh, Trent, it's time for the rundown. Now.
Super Radio Rundown.
Trent, have you seen Top Gun Maverick?
Yes, I've seen Top Gun
you
Maverick.
Have? I'm not talking about the original Top Gun. You're aware there's a remake in theaters now, are you?
Yes, I am aware. I'm sorry, I misheard you. I did not see the remake. My granddad is going to go see it Saturday with his girlfriend, so we'll see how that goes. The Maverick. I've heard a lot of great reviews on it, and that's definitely been a top seller in the box office. That's for sure.
Well, that's tops right now at the box office. Top Gun Maverick, Tom Cruise with the sequel 100 years after the first one came out, $126 million for its first weekend at the box office. That's pretty amazing, Trent.
Have you seen it yet?
I have not seen it. I actually, I wasn't a huge fan of the original movie, and I tried to watch the original just to watch it and get myself prepared to see the sequel. And I'm an hour in. I haven't returned to it because it's so awful. It's literally like one of the worst movies ever. But the sequel looks pretty cool. It's modern. It's an awful 80s flick, Trent, and there's a lot of corny music. And like I said, I only got through an hour of it. I want to try to finish it before I see the sequel. It's just hard to get through. It really is. It's one of those movies I saw as a kid, just remembered nothing about. And the other day I tried to sit down and watch it, and it's a pretty rough go. I would say it doesn't hold up. But Bob's Burgers, the movie, number 2 at the box office. I remember when The Simpsons did this. It was pretty popular, long-running animated television show getting a feature film. Who would have thought way back in the day that Bob's Burgers would have gotten a movie? But they did, and $12 million at the box office over the weekend. Hey, that's a cult classic. People dig that show. And to round out the top 5 there, Downton Abbey, The Bad Guys, and Everything Everywhere All at Once, still right up there with the top movies, grossing-wise, in everywhere, Trent, in the universe.
In the universe.
Grossing movies in the universe. Now, I don't know if you know this, but Thor, Love and Thunder, had a new trailer released this week, and it broke the internet. The internet, you were probably wondering, Trent, when the internet broke, you were like, whoa, I wonder why the internet's broken.
Yeah. I went to open a webpage on my phone, and it said webpage unavailable. I said, whoa, the internet is broken.
Yeah, you saw that. You're like, whoa, what? The internet's broken, but I don't know why. Well, I'm going to tell you why. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Because Thor was naked. It was a naked man. Thor... It was the trailer for the new Thor Love and Thunder movie, and he's naked in a scene. For some reason, he's chained and naked in front of Zeus, and they just have a pixelated screen to cover up the naughty bits. And yeah, everybody's going crazy about it. I guess that was maybe that wasn't the right way to describe it. The naughty bits, Trent. Did that make you uncomfortable?
Nah, not really.
Is it okay? Okay. Trent approves the naughty bits. So he's Thor. Is my dog's son. So I'm pleased. My dog is Freya, Trent, and Freya's Thor's mom, and she was a little embarrassed.
Is she awake right now?
Yeah, she's walking around. She just heard her name, so now she's walking around. But yeah, no, she's leaving. She's gonna go to her bed in another room. Sorry, I think she's upset at me. She's like, "You're speaking too loudly. I'm out of here." Bye-bye. But, Freya, my dog, Thor's mother, she was shocked when she saw him naked on screen. But apparently, it is the most replayed part of the trailer. People are going crazy for it. And I'll say this, the trailer itself was pretty awesome. We got our first look at Gore the God Butcher, played by Christian Bale. He, of course, played Batman in the Batman movies that were really great, right? Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and that trilogy with Christian Bale. He's playing Gore the God Butcher, the aforementioned Zeus being played by Russell Crowe. And of course, we're going to get Lady Thor, played by Natalie Portman in this movie. You see a lot of cool stuff in the trailer, but people apparently with all those cool things, especially Gore the God Butcher, which was introduced in the run by Jason Aaron, who's, for my money, the best Thor writer in the history of the book. But anyway, all that cool stuff that came across, people can't get enough naked Thor, Trent. They can't get enough of him. So that's the big story there. But I'll say this, Jason Aaron, the God the Butcher, the Gore the God Butcher run is fantastic. Just a quick description. The God Butcher, Trent, he's exactly that. He goes around the cosmos killing all the gods, and he's using their machine to fuel his God bomb. Once it explodes, there's a big brawl here at the end of the Ranger Lightning game.
No.
But once he's able to completely power up his God bomb, it's going to kill all of the gods in all of the universe. So anyway, that was the comic book story, and it was pretty brutal as he traveled throughout the universe killing all the gods. It was really a great comic book, so pretty interesting to see what they do in the movie. I'm a big fan of that character, and Christian Bale in the role looks pretty cool in the trailer. But yeah, nobody cares about any of that. Thor was naked. That's the story there, Trent. So there you go. A big time story. Another interesting story that came out this week. James Gunn, director of Guardians of the Galaxy Volumes 1 and 2, and of course Volume 3, which is coming out. He responded to a recent Instagram posing as a casting call for the upcoming Marvel threequel, and apparently it's fake. So when you think things are too good to be true, it usually is too good to be true. A lot of people thought, hey, I got a chance to be in the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie. It's fake. The Instagram story was uploaded by 99.com. It turned out to be fake, with the account charging unsuspecting people who thought they were getting a shot to be an extra in a Marvel movie. So pretty upsetting when you see things like that happen. I mean, there are scams like that on the internet all the time. This is a pretty serious brawl going on here at the end of the Ranger Lightning game. But to actually see a director from a big Hollywood movie respond to a scam like that, I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I thought that sounds pretty interesting as well. I think so. And yeah.
I'll give you one last thing here, just in the comic book world, and it was big news. Joe Quesada, he's been basically the head creative editor-in-chief at Marvel Comics for the past 22 years. He is out. He's quitting. He's retiring as editor-in-chief over at Marvel, moving on to get more into movie making. I'll say this to Joe Quesada: good riddance. You single-handedly destroyed The Amazing Spider-Man back when J. Michael Straczynski, in my opinion, and I've read the book my whole life, all the way from, and I went back and read all the old books from the 60s. So if there's any comic book that's mine, it's The Amazing Spider-Man, and I have quite a lengthy collection throughout the decades. But man, for my money, J. Michael Straczynski was doing an incredible job on that book in the late 90s into the early 2000s. And he was the first person in a long time to really try to evolve the character. Peter Parker was now working as a school teacher. It was something different. He had the guts to kill off Aunt May. I mean, he was doing a lot of interesting things with the book. And then Marvel and Joe Quesada decided, well, we need Peter to be more like he was before, and they basically, oh my God, these guys are still punching each other. He basically fired J. Michael Straczynski, didn't let him finish the run he wanted, the way he wanted to finish it, created this whole brand new day thing, which was the worst thing to ever happen to the book. So anyway, long story short, Joe Quesada ruined the Amazing Spider-Man with Brand New Day, destroyed J. Michael Straczynski's incredible run on the book. So to you, Joe Quesada, good riddance. I'm glad you're gone. So was that too brutal, Trent? Maybe I shouldn't have gone so far with that. What do you
well, you were honest, and that's what we want here on Super Radio Brothers. We want people to be honest. Was it brutal? I'd say, yeah, pretty much.
I was honest, and I was angry. I was so angry, Trent. I hope you understand that. I hope you weren't offended, or anything like that, because I was just angry, and I was letting that anger out, and I think he sucks.
Yeah. I'm not offended.
I don't think you suck. I think you're cool. I think he sucks. So
thank you.
I'm glad. I think you should be editor-in-chief at Marvel.
Yeah, I don't know about all that, but I appreciate it.
I'm over here replaying this brawl. A lot of you have two Lightning on the ground with a Ranger and a referee between them. And it gets to the point where everybody's so tired of brawling that they're just kind of now holding on to each other, doing the dance. So yeah, that was a pretty intense brawl though at the end of this Ranger Lightning.
That's going to be on Sports Center.
Yeah, it was, and it was a long one too, and it wasn't just two guys fighting. It was basically both teams going at it here. So,
well, the Lightning are frustrated.
Yeah, it's a frustrating game here for sure. We'll see what happens with that. So yeah, anyway, Joe Quesada, bye-bye. I don't like you, and hopefully it'll be for the better for the House of Ideas, as they call it, over there at Marvel Comics.
Pew, pew, pew.
Video game news! Video game! Yeah! Video game news is back, Trent. Are you excited?
Oh, yeah, especially after that intro.
Yeah, I know that's what gets you going. How about this? I know you probably know of the John Madden video game, Trent.
Of course.
NFL football, and every year you get the Madden Curse, right? Whoever's on the cover of the Madden video game, well, bad things usually happen for them. It doesn't turn out to be a good season. Well, this year, Trent, a player will not be on the cover of Madden 23.
Oh, really?
This year, legendary football coach and broadcaster John Madden will appear on the cover of Madden NFL 23.
Wow, the late great John Madden.
Yeah, and that's pretty amazing to think, but that's the first time on the cover since 2000. So it's been 22 years since John Madden has been on the cover. So just a little bit of background on this, and we all know John Madden, big-time NFL broadcaster, one-time a head coach of the Raiders, and he led that team to the Super Bowl 11 victory. The game first launched as John Madden Football in 1988. Madden NFL series established itself as the preeminent football video game and one of the most successful video game franchises ever. EA reportedly paid Madden $150 million in 2005 to use his name and likeness forever. They sold a reported 130 million copies of the Madden games, raking in $4 billion in revenue over its history. And yes, I play Madden and I love it. And over the years, there were so many different football games. There was Tecmo Bowl. There was Joe Montana football. There was 2K football over the years. And amazing enough, at this point in time, only one still standing, John Madden football. Oh, hey, Freya, you like this? You want this? This is a good girl? I do. Oh, bye-bye. She doesn't like this. You're shy today, Freya? Are you shy? You want to say something to the audience? She doesn't want to say anything.
Freya, talk.
Yeah, she's not feeling it. Because she's chewing on some jerky right now. So she doesn't want to talk when she's chewing on. Here you go, girl. This is your good girl? This is my good girl? This is a good girl. Okay. I don't know if you heard that, but.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
She said a little bit. She said a little bit for us. So
yeah, she's a little tired.
Yeah, she's tired of hearing me talk. That's what it seems like. June's biggest games, The Quarry. I'm super excited. This is basically a mix between Until Dawn and Heavy Rain, a video game that is more movie than video game. And I thought that there would be more games like this to come out since Heavy Rain, which again, it's really more of an interactive movie than a video game. But they didn't really catch on the way you would think. Until Dawn was basically a horror movie. You controlled, I forget how many characters it was, but basically all of them could survive, or all of them could die by the end of the game, and choices and decisions you made, basically make your own story type of game, affect how the story goes. And there's usually 10 different endings, 10 different ways the game could go. So same thing with The Quarry. It's basically 9 different characters and the same idea.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you what though, and I'm super excited about it. They're saying it's Until Dawn meets Friday the 13th. Heavy Rain, which was a similar type of game, you controlled 3 different characters investigating a murder mystery. And one of the coolest things I ever did in a video game happened in that game. I was locked in an apartment, and the building was going to explode. And I didn't know what to do. You look outside the window, the jump's too far. Even some ridiculous things like my character hid under the table, and I'm like, well, the building's going to explode. That's not going to help anything. And then I remembered Indiana Jones 4. I was like, well, Indy survived a nuclear explosion in a refrigerator. So sure enough, I open the fridge, I empty it out, and I hide in the fridge. The building explodes, and I survive. So that was pretty hilarious. And I ended up solving the mystery with that character. I didn't get it done with the other 2, so it was very important that I survived with that character. And I don't know, those make your own choice games, the games where you really can die, where you have multiple characters, and each decision you make really, and that's it. That's a final at MSG 6-2 Rangers. Yeah, every decision that you make affects how the game goes. I really dig games like that. I wish they made more of them, but that's coming out there in June for a PlayStation. As a matter of fact, I can't wait. I believe it's June 9th that's coming out. How about this? A Need for Speed. There's like a Need for Speed club, Trent, in the UK, where these kids are basically they're crashing Audis and these supercars into police cars, and high-speed chases, and all this nonsense is happening because of video games. The initial findings of the ongoing investigation point to British youngsters, wealthy British youngsters, forming part of a group of youth that try to emulate real-life scenes in video games, well-known car racing video games. And the exact quote from the police department is, "They're wealthy lads who place bets on these illegal competitions that consist of trying to escape the police while carrying out dangerous maneuvers, like driving through pedestrian areas or going through the wrong way at high speed up main roads." That's the quote, Trent. I hope that was
I like that.
Satisfactory to you. But a lot of different incidents. This is a club of rich kids. And by the way, an Audi RS6 can do 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds. So that's a pretty fast car. And they're playing with people's lives, man. It's not right. It's not right. It's like they mentioned Need for Speed, but to me, it's almost like Grand Theft Auto. It's hey, let's go out there and hit people or do something terrible. It just sounds dangerous and wrong, Trent. It sounds dangerous and wrong.
Yeah, we don't need to hit people.
No. Well, sometimes we need to hit people, but not with a car.
No.
You don't need to hit people with a car.
If you need to hit somebody, do it like a real man.
Yeah, with a pillow and love, like a real man.
Real man.
That's how real men get it done, with pillow fights.
That's right.
That? Yeah.
Just don't ask the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Rangers on the ice how they got it done.
Yeah, that wasn't a pillow fight. That was real anger.
That was real man-to-man. That was just flat-out anger.
It was not cool, man. I don't think that was cool, you know.
I don't either.
But, you know, that's hockey. Sometimes, some can argue, Trent, that maybe that was the Lightning sending a message at the end of the game. You know, like, we're going to be back here in game 2.
No, absolutely. You can't play around with the Lightning.
Speaking of the Lightning and the Rangers and the world of sports. Oh, yeah. You know what that means. That cool music. You know what that cool music means, Trent?
It's time for Super Radio Brothers
It's
Sports.
time for sports. Super Radio Brothers Sports on Super Radio Brothers right now. How's that?
Okay.
Is that good?
I like the original music. You know, that's pretty good. But hate to burst your bubble.
Well,
but
I thought I'd add a little flair to it. I spent all week writing that. I've put a lot of effort in.
Oh, it sounds like you came up with that on the fly.
No, me? I put work into what I do, Trent. A lot of effort. A lot of effort and thoughts and processes.
Absolutely.
You know.
And hold on. Oh, I just saw a thing. Texas and the Rays are tied 2-2 going into the top of the 9th inning. So hopefully one of my Tampa Bay teams can win tonight.
Well, maybe the Rays can salvage the night for you.
I hope, because I don't want to go 0-2.
Yeah, that's always a rough night. That's always a rough night. All right, Super Radio Brothers Sports. What are we talking about here, Trent?
Well, let's finish off the Lightning talk. You know, the Lightning and Rangers. You're a Ranger fan.
Yeah.
I want to. You only watched maybe a half of a hockey game during the regular season, but when the playoffs got underway, you got into it, and that's a good thing. You know, that's a playoff.
Yeah,
hockey.
Rangers being good gets me into it for sure.
Yeah, playoff hockey is definitely a lot better than the regular season.
Yeah.
But the Lightning ended up losing the game 1 6-2. But let me just tell you about the outlook of this series first. And I know it's we're through only game 1. Game 2 is going to be Friday night, and of course game 3 is on Sunday at Amalie Arena, and vice versa. You know the schedule. Yeah. But if not, you can look it up. But the Lightning lost that game, and look, coming into this game, they had 9 days off. They hadn't played a hockey game since I was there last, actually, May 23rd, when they played the Florida Panthers, and they ended up winning them in a shutout 2-0 and ended up beating them. But look, the rest was good for the Lightning to get some injured players back, but also, like we saw a little bit tonight in this particular game, it can hurt you a little bit. And the Rangers have been playing well. They won that series. They won a dominating game over the Carolina Hurricanes in Game 7. Ironically, Rich, by the same score. I believe they beat the Hurricanes by a 6-2 count.
That's right.
And they beat the Lightning by a 6-2 count tonight too. So their magic number has been 6 as of the past 2 games. The Rangers.
Yep.
Even though the Lightning have the playoff experience, the fact that the Rangers have momentum, this could have been a good thing for them as well, because and it definitely was, because whenever you're hot, you don't want anything to stop your momentum. You want to be on the ice and continue your hot streak as long as you can, and that's what the Rangers did. We have a couple of 50-goal scorers that we're dealing about, one of which is Chris Kreider. Kreider scored the goal about 30 seconds into the contest to give New York a 1-0 lead. Then Steven Stamkos came back to take it at 1. And then it was kind of a seesaw game after that. You know, every time New York would score, Tampa Bay would bounce back. And then from there, the Lightning just had trouble getting in their own zone. Just were careless with the puck at times. Couldn't take advantage of the power play. Vasilevsky had a tough night, and considering, people have to realize that it's okay for Andrei Vasilevsky to have tough nights every now and then, because 90% of the time he's on his game and he's standing on his head, making sure the shots don't go in the net for the opposing team. So, look, as long as they get it out of their system tonight, which I hope they did, they're going to be fine, and it's okay for teams to have games like this. And people are wondering, if you're a Lightning fan, are you worried? No, I'm not, because they've been in this situation. The Lightning don't lose back-to-back games. They haven't lost back-to-back games very often, especially in the postseason. So the odds tell me that they'll be back on track game 2, and like that brawl. Rich will be able to tell you more about that brawl that happened at the end of the game. But that brawl, I think, sent a message to the Rangers from the Tampa Bay Lightning saying, "Don't mess with us."
Yeah, it could be. You see that happen a lot at the end of these games in the NHL, these playoff games where, hey, there's a little frustration. You get out there, you take it out on the other team, and you come back ready to play in the next game. And this was a little more. Both those teams were going at it at the end of the game. And, a couple of things. If you're the Rangers, of course, you want to win game 1 at home. That's you're getting it done that way. And now you get a little greedy, and you want to take game 2 at home, too. And as you said, Lightning aren't used to losing 2 games in a row during the playoffs. Heck, you could say Lightning aren't used to losing. They just came off of sweeping a Florida Panther team that was the number 1 team in the NHL this past year. They didn't lose 1 game to that team, and they come out here against the Rangers and they lose a game. So when you're the Rangers and you're facing a team like that that's just coming off of a series sweep against the supposed best team in the NHL, you got to feel good about taking game 1 at home, but not just doing that in the fashion you did. You win the game going away 6-2. You were ahead the entire game. The Lightning had the equalizer a couple of times. It was 1-0, then 1-1, 2-1, then 2-2, and then the Rangers scored 4 unanswered goals. You look at the stats. Lightning had 39 shots on goal. Rangers 34. Pretty even there. Rangers were able to capitalize on the power play, 1-2. And the Lightning had more power plays than the Rangers. They were just 0 for 4. So the opportunities were there. I think where the Rangers really dominated and changed the game were on the face-off. They won 33 face-offs. They were able to control the puck, keep it in the Lightning zone, keep the pressure going. So those face-offs really kept the puck out of the Lightning's hands, and that's why I think they only had 39 shots on goal there, and I think it made a big difference. And, I think Shesterkin was really good after that second save. He had a couple of sequences where he stood on his head and made some saves that maybe for this game ripped the heart out of the Lightning, because they felt like they should have had an equalizer there. It should have been 3-3. But hey, again, it's only the first game. You're facing a championship team. But another thing about the Rangers, too, is just the way they've gotten here, which makes you think about this team. They were down 3-1 in the first round, down 3-2 in the second round. They're 5-0 in elimination games so far this postseason. They are a hard team to beat with their backs against the wall. They have the goalie a lot of people consider to be the best goalie in the sport this year. Of course, they're Vasilevsky is one of the best too. So, but Rangers have the feel of a team that has something special going on right now. So we'll see what happens, but that's an encouraging first game against the world champs for the New York Rangers. 6-2 victory.
Absolutely. Now, let's while we're talking about the playoffs, we'll touch baseball last, but let's go to the NBA. We got a series coming up tomorrow night, the Golden State Warriors and the Boston Celtics. Boston hadn't been to the finals since 2010 when guys like Paul Pierce were on the team, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen. You remember that big three, Rich? Yeah. That was fantastic. And you can't forget Rajon Rondo, and that team was so deep with Kendrick Perkins and I think Glenn Big Baby Davis.
Yeah, Big Baby Davis. Oh, you're bringing it back. Yeah, he was fun.
Big Baby Davis.
I've seen him recently. He was at a game recently. He was at one of the Celtic games, and he's really Big Baby right now. I'm just saying, he's gotten really big. And I love seeing KP with Stephen A. on ESPN. He's big, Trent. Not bulky. Okay. He's big. He's fat. Okay. What do you want? Which is okay. I'm sure he's happy. The guy's a millionaire. He's comfortable right now.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. But I love seeing KP on ESPN. I think he does a great job. And Paul Pierce, he was a great player to watch because he's one of those guys that wasn't one of the greatest athletes in the world, but his footwork and his clutch play, and he was clearly the guy on that Celtic team that beat a Kobe Bryant-led Laker team for an NBA championship. So, we haven't seen the Celtics good in a while. It's been over a decade, and that was a team that won a championship. And Paul Pierce, he was definitely one of the best players of the era, man. He was something to watch. I'm sure Celtic fans miss him. I don't miss him. I don't miss him at all. I don't miss him. I'm sure you don't. And it's a conundrum for me, Trent, because I hate the Golden State Warriors and I hate the Boston Celtics. I can't stand either team. I really can't.
So you wish both teams could lose if that was possible.
I would like to see both teams lose. Is that possible?
I'm sorry.
Last night the Celtics and Golden State lost. The series is tied at 1 loss apiece. How do you work that out?
Tied at 1 loss apiece.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
First team to 4 losses loses the series. Well, I guess that is how it works. But anyway,
I'm just going to get a general consensus for the NBA. The Warriors and the Celtics have won each one half of a championship. So you're going to have a
they could split it. I don't want to see either one actually win. They should just split it, and they shouldn't even play the games.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But you got good teams. I mean, the Celtics have got depth, man. They got not only are Jason Tatum and Marcus Smart. You know, Tatum's been fantastic. He's been a scorer. He's definitely makes things happen on the defensive end. Marcus Smart. Basically, everybody on the Celtics can make the three. Of course, Derek White can cause some issues at the rim for opposing teams, and also he can shoot from the corners from 3-point range, and not just from the corners, but basically anywhere on the court. And then, of course, you got for the Warriors, you got Steph Curry and Draymond Green and Klay Thompson. You got the Splash Brothers, as they say. It's going to be a fun series. Rich, can you say that it's going to be raining threes at Oracle Arena in San Francisco starting tomorrow night?
Well, the Celtics definitely don't want to hear that, because if that's the case, most likely they're losing the game. Both teams are awesome for different reasons. A lot has been made about how much bigger the Boston Celtics are than the Warriors, but we know that the Warriors are a great offensive team. That free flowing offense, constant motion, Steph Curry from 30 feet away. If those guys are hot, it's going to be hard to beat them. But when you look at what makes the Celtics such a great defensive team, well, for one thing, they got the Defensive Player of the Year in Marcus Smart. And, this is an era where you can have a Defensive Player of the Year not be a center. Marcus Smart is the point guard, and he's the Defensive Player of the Year. And he's going to be on maybe the most important offensive player on the Golden State Warriors in Stephen Curry. As a matter of fact, there was a confrontation between those two earlier this year going for a loose ball where Stephen Curry got injured in that game because Marcus Smart is an intense player. And does Steph Curry think twice about doing certain things because he's been hurt playing against Marcus Smart? They're all ballers over there. You look at Al Horford, and how he battled against Antetokounmpo in that series and how they went back and forth. They're not scared of anyone. If Al Horford can stand toe-to-toe with Antetokounmpo, he's going to make a difference in this series too. There's nobody on that Golden State team that's going to intimidate him. You mentioned with the Warriors, Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, of course, the Splash Brothers. But one of the things that's made that team special are the secondary players this year. Look at what Jordan Poole has done. He's become the third guy. He's become a big-time scorer in this league. Another guy that just spreads the floor for the Golden State Warriors, makes them difficult to defend. You got Andrew Wiggins, who's another guy who's a high flyer, who can score, who's also a great defensive player. And, of course, Draymond Green. And I see a lot of people picking the Boston Celtics in this series because you got Jason Tatum, great young player, two-way player. He has his Robin and Jaylen Brown, who seems at times can score at will. Defensive Player of the Year, Marcus Smart. You mentioned Derek White, a great guy who can offer some offense at opportune times, hitting the three, getting the ball to the basket. Great backup point guard type of guy, and of course Al Horford. But I think sometimes we underestimate how good the Warriors actually are, man. This is a team that's already won 3 championships. They haven't been back in a couple of years, But, all the injuries. Klay Thompson hasn't played in 2 years. Steph Curry has had to do it basically by himself out there. And he's not the type of player that's going to do that. Look, he's not LeBron. He's not. He needs a team around him that's going to help set him up to take these 30-foot jump shots. He's not a Luka Doncic, a Kevin Durant. He needs other guys to set him up. He's not going to be the playmaker that those guys are. So I think with the Warriors at full strength, and Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson getting these open shots, the motion offense, it's hard to pick against them. They've won championships already. And I like I said, you see everybody picking the Celtics in this series. And I think ultimately I'm going to root for the Celtics because as much as I dislike Boston, I'm just tired of the Warriors. And I'm really upset to have to see them here again. And I underestimated them because I thought that Memphis would probably take that game, that series 7 games. And I know John Morant got hurt, and it did go 6 games. But I thought that would go deeper. I thought Dallas would give the Warriors a better series, and they took Dallas out in 5. So I think I've underestimated them, and look at what Dallas did. To get Dallas beat a 64-win Phoenix Suns team, beat them in Game 7 convincingly, destroyed Phoenix in Game 7. All right, and Golden State went out and beat that team in 5 games. So I think it's hard to say that you underestimate a team with Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, 3-time champions. But I think maybe sometimes we forget how good they are. And Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they're very young. They rely on defense. The Golden State has home court advantage. I think Golden State's going to win the series, and I think they're going to win this series in 5 or 6 games. I don't think that, and they say defense wins championships. You know what? But Stephen Curry is a special player. He's a legendary player. He's an all-time player. He's what many consider to be the greatest shooter of all time. Oh, and guess what? You have the second greatest shooter of all time in Klay Thompson on the team. And now they got young stars. Jordan Poole is an all-star in this league. Andrew Wiggins is a former lottery pick, number 1 pick in the draft. And of course you got Draymond Green, who's their main playmaker. He's healthy this year. He's going to cause problems. I think you're looking at, okay, the Celtics are a nice team. They had a great year. They get to the NBA Finals. But Golden State's a legendary team. This is a team that's going to be an NBA 2K, in 20. It's going to be 2040. Oh, classic team in NBA 2K, Golden State Warriors. Of course, 2022. Are the Celtics, this Celtic team, is it going to be remembered in that regard? Well, if they win this series, maybe. But then they'd still need 2 more championships to catch up to Steph Curry. This is legacy. Steph Curry wins his championship. He has many championships as LeBron James. Not only that, now he's won a championship without Kevin Durant. I know he already did that for the first championship, but it hasn't done so since. He won 2 with Kevin Durant. Plus, this is after the fact, after Kevin Durant leaves to go to Brooklyn. And look at that. He's on Brooklyn. What a disaster that is. They get knocked out in the first round by the Boston Celtics. And here's Steph Curry and the Warriors back in the finals. So, and it's hard to, that's another thing. Hard to say that a team like the Warriors that's won 3 championships, that's won 73 games in a season, that they have something to prove. But I'll tell you what, I bet you those guys, I bet you Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, they really feel like they have something to prove, that, you know what, it wasn't Kevin Durant that made this team. We won a championship before him, and we're going to win a championship after him. So there are too many things working in the favor of storylines, and a lot of times, let's face it, in the NBA, that's what it is. You go to where the stars are, you're going to win a championship. And you know what? To me, Tatum and Brown, they're not on the level of Curry, Thompson, not yet. And there's just too much firepower on that Golden State team for me to pick the Celtics in this series. So it's hard for me to say 5 or 6. If I say Golden State's going to win in 6, that means they're going to win in Boston. And it's hard to say that the Golden State's going to win the series in Boston. So it's hard to say they're going to win the series in 6 games. But let me say I think they changed that. I don't think it's the 2-3-2 format anymore. I think it's 2-3. It's 2-2-1-1-1. So
I believe it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2-2-1-1-1. So Game 6 would be in Boston. So I'll say 7. But and if you say that the series ends in 7, Boston is not winning Game 7 in San Francisco. It's not happening. So I'm going to say Warriors. I know I went from 5 to 7 games, but you got to give the Celtics credit too and what they bring to the table defensively. I just think Golden State has too much firepower. Give me the Warriors in 7 games, Trent. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Golden State Warriors do win the series, but I think Boston competes, and I'm going to give Boston an opportunity, but I agree with you. I think Golden State will win it. I think it'll be a close game if it goes to 7 games. I think Game 7 will be close. I think it will be one of those classic Game 7s that nobody forgets about. But you know what? I gotta give it. I gotta give Boston. I gotta give Golden State the edge over the Boston Celtics.
And just to there's a good stat here provided by Sharon, the show producer. Speaking about something to prove without Kevin Durant, here's Stephen Curry's numbers in the playoffs without Kevin Durant. With him, he averaged 27.5 points a game. Without, 25.9 points a game. Here's where the story is. I believe these are playoff games or NBA final games, actually. Curry 9-1 with Kevin Durant. Without, 8-10. So actually that makes no sense. So probably playoff games, I would say. And NBA titles, of course, the 2 with and the 1 without. So yeah, that's playoff games. So 9-1 with, 8-10 without. Anyway, that's how that whole thing breaks down. A lot to prove. I think you might think that's crazy, Trent, but I think that Curry and Klay Thompson and all of those guys, they feel like they have something to prove in this series, and they have too much experience, man. They've done it too many times. They've been through all these wars. I think they win this series.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. So it should be a fun.
But for
NBA.
the record, I am rooting for the Celtics. I'd rather see them win. I hate Golden State.
I'd like to see Boston win too. They came so close against the Lakers back in 2009, 2010. But I got to give. I don't think it's Boston's year this year either. As great of a season as they have had.
And guess what, Trent? I don't like them. So that's all the stats and everything. My main reason is I don't like them.
I'm sure you don't. Yeah. No, I understand.
It's a whole thing, It's just a dislike thing.
Yeah. Well, let's get into baseball as we always do. The Tampa Bay Rays they're in shambles right now. Although going into last weekend, I said if the Tampa Bay Rays were to split with the New York Yankees, I would have loved to seen them take 3 out of 4, but it just wasn't meant to be. The Rays-Yankees game lived up to the hype. Of course, the Rays lost to the Yankees on Thursday night, 7-2. They lost on Friday night. They were shut out by a 2-0 count. But then on Saturday, when Rich went to the game, Tampa Bay wins again. How does that happen? You're 0-5. You need to go to more Rays games so the Rays can win more home games at Tropicana Field. You seem to be a feather in the Rays' cap right now.
I can't buy a win. Yankees 34-15 on the year, so obviously a lot more wins than losses. And I go to one of those 15 losses, Trent.
I know. That's wild. I mean, it's great.
But, I will say, though, going into the series, I said it on this show last week. I said it on our actual sports show on Out of Sight Sports. Going into the series against the Rays, especially coming off of all the injuries and the turmoil, the first bit of turmoil that the Yankees had faced all season, going right into that series with everything that went down with the injuries, I felt that taking a split would be a victory for the Yankees. And at that time the Rays were in second place. They were 4.5 back. So a split looks pretty good. Let's keep it right here. But I will admit, when you take the first 2 games of the series, then you get greedy. You're like, oh, we took the first 2. Let's get one more, and we take 3 out of 4. And Tampa would win the next 2. Yes, the Saturday game I was at, they took that game, and they took the 4th game, and they end up splitting the series 2-2. But I really felt that for the Yankees anyway, it was a good job getting a split in Tampa. They get the first game against the Los Angeles Angels, and the Yankees just ho-humming, and you still feel good in that Tampa series where everybody pitched well. Even in the games they lost, look, you saw nasty Nestor Cortez continue to dominate in that first game, continue his Cy Young campaign right now because it's not even close. If the season ended today, Nestor Cortez is the American League Cy Young. He's been that incredible, that unhittable, and he continued that pattern of play in the first game against the Rays. And then Jameson Taillon, he's been another guy. Just shocking how well he's pitched so far this year. And Garrett
and Cole, the Rays rocked Taillon last year whenever you were at that game.
They smoked him, and they couldn't touch him. He went 8 innings, I believe, in that game. And then Cole pitched well in the game I went to. Didn't quite give you the length that you needed if you're a Yankee fan in that game, especially what's kind of a depleted bullpen with the injuries to Loaisiga and Chapman and Green. So you got to go to King there. King was great early in the season. He was one of the best relievers in baseball his first 7 appearances, but since then has like a 7 ERA, and he had been giving it up. So in that 7th inning, when the Yankees brought him into a 1-1 game after they brought Cole out, I didn't feel too good about it. And sure enough, Yankees would go on to lose that game 3-1. King gave it up, but still, and Severino went on to pitch really well in that 3rd game there. Which, look, there was another questionable decision. Everybody was questioning Boone's decision to bring in Ron Marciano into the 8th inning of that game, and what is he supposed to do? He's got no other pitchers to bring in. This is a rookie. He's only played 6 big league games, 6.7 ERA in those games, and you bring him into a big spot like that.
High leverage situation.
Yeah, high leverage situation, and before you know it, he walks the first 2 batters, forces in a run, hits the next batter in the back with a curveball, and before you know it, the Rays are up 4-2, and they end up taking that 4th game and splitting the series with the Yankees. But look, Yankees went into Tampa, they split the series, even with all the injuries. Top players in the lineup, Stanton, Donaldson not in the lineup. I thought the Yankees did a great job there. Take the first game against the Angels, and you look at the standings right now. Yankees still doing a fantastic job, 34-15 as we speak. A 5.5 game lead on Toronto, 6 game lead on Tampa. By the way, the Toronto Blue Jays jumping Tampa into 2nd place. The Rays in 3rd place now, only a half game.
Yes, the Rays are no longer in 2nd place.
But Rays falling down to 3rd place. Yankees still in 1st place, and it's good to see. But you worry because Toronto's the team everybody was picking at the beginning of the year. Are they going to make a charge here? Will injuries catch up to the Yankees as they seem to do every single year? Even though, look. The Stanton injury turned out to be an ankle, not a calf, which is actually a good thing. He was on the 10-day IL. He's getting set to come off. Looks like he'll be back really soon. You got LeMahieu back off the wrist injury. Donaldson's a different story. He had the COVID protocol, and then all of a sudden he's on the COVID protocol. Somehow, I don't know how you get a shoulder injury while you have COVID, but somehow that happened to Donaldson. So I look at this team. Here's my whole thing, Trent. I'll say this real quick, just to wrap up my Yankee talk. They're good. All right. It's the best team we've seen in a couple of years. And you start to think about it as a Yankee fan. Well, what's going to hold this team back? Why are they going to lose in October? And it's left field. It's Aaron Hicks and Joey Gallo. These dudes are absolutely terrible. And it's not like they don't have options. You wonder, why in the world do they keep marching these guys out there? They're freaking terrible when you got a Miguel Andujar who needs to play. Give the guy a shot. He was second in Rookie of the Year voting back in 2018, had 27 home runs, 97 RBIs. The guy had a huge rookie season. And, a lot of guys, You're seeing that with your superstar young guy in his second year. Sometimes you fall off the next year. You saw it with Gleyber Torres, and yes, Andujar fell off. Is he ever going to be the fielder in left field that a Joey Gallo is? No, but he's not going to hit 100 either. I guarantee you that. Andujar is going to put the bat on the ball. He's going to hit at least 260. Give me a break. I don't think he's going to hit 27 home runs like he hit in 2018, but you know what? He's going to make contact. He's going to be a professional hitter. And I just think he's a guy that deserves a shot. Dudes like Aaron Hicks, I don't care that you gave him 7 years, $100 million. The dude should not be playing. Right now, Hicks is hitting 32% below Major League Baseball's average in OPS, factoring in league and park. And Gallo is actually 33% below the Major League average in OPS. So these dudes are terrible. They're not bad. They're terrible, and they're automatic outs. And on a team that's going to – if you're a team that wants to take yourself seriously and say, you know what, we want to win a World Series, Gallo and Hicks cannot be playing. That's what Brian Cashman needs to fix by the All-Star break, by the trade deadline. You need to go out there. You need to make a move so that in October I'm not seeing Hicks and Gallo in the lineup because they can't be there. This is what he gets paid for. Great general manager, all that bullshit. You know what? Fix left field. Hicks cannot be playing. Gallo cannot be playing. These dudes cannot be in the lineup in big games at the end of the season. I'm sorry. And that's the only thing you can really complain about as a Yankee fan right now. And that's pretty great when that's the only thing you have to complain about.
Yeah, it really is. And so it should be an interesting, we kind of really know what our baseball teams look like right now because it's June 1st. And
well, that's the cliche, right, Trent? The baseball season doesn't really start until June 1st. That's when you really get a feel of what your team is and what they're capable of.
And then the next key date is the All-Star break and all that kind of stuff. So should be interesting stuff. But a little quick update on the Rays. They're struggling. What else can I say? The offense can't hit anything right now, and the pitchers are having to carry the weight. And unfortunately, some nights it doesn't work like that because the Rays aren't getting too much length from their starters. I mean, we had tonight, being Wednesday, we had Jeffrey Springs. He labored a few times, but he only gave up a run or two and in 5 innings of work. And normally, if you give up, look, it's fair to say, oh, that's a nice hit. I'm sorry, no, never mind. The guy just grounded out. Anyway, we're
that happens to me all the time, Trent. I'm like. And Sharon hears me in the living room. I'm like, oh.
I know.
think it's a hit, and then it's not a hit.
We're in the top of the 10th inning right now. We're tied 2-2 with the Texas Rangers at the current moment. So that should be an interesting.
You get to enjoy my favorite new rule, the Ghost Runner. I really like the Ghost Runner.
Yeah, you're right. But the Rangers and Rays are tied right now 2-2. But what I'm saying, you go back to the Yankees series where Ryan Yarbrough and Nestor Cortez matched wits for the first 5 or so innings. And then, of course, Yarbrough had that blip in the 6th where they ended up giving up a couple of runs. And then
seems like Yarbrough always pitches well against the Yankees, too. And it's so frustrating because he throws the ball like 80 miles an hour.
Yeah, Yarbrough's great. He's a good pitcher.
You watch it, Trent, and you see the ball come in 87. Like, man, how are they not hitting this guy? And yeah, I mean, obviously with baseball, and you wish some of the scouts would realize this, but it's not always about speed, right? It's about deception, arm angles, and Yarbrough is a fun guy to watch. He really is. He's a fun guy to watch pitch.
Absolutely. So what happened? Anyway, the Rays just took a 3-2 lead. By the way, Fidel Brujan drove in a run with a sacrifice fly. So with 2 outs, Tampa Bay's got a 3-2 lead.
I will say though, Trent, with the Ghost Runner, my new favorite rule, that game is far from over.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, without a doubt. But anyway, so you got Tampa Bay on Thursday night, and then of course they had that blip where the Taylor Walls with the throwing error in the top of the 6th inning allowed a couple of runs. Ryan Yarbrough had 3 runs tagged to his line, but 2 were earned. There was one unearned run, and then the Yankees just kept on adding on to that game with the bullpen and kind of pulled away. So that was a 7-2 game. The Rays got a couple of runs in garbage time, as they say. Right. And then on Friday, they just couldn't get anything at all. They had, the Yankees, Jameson Taillon went 8 innings and did well. And the Rays starter on Friday did pretty well too. He only gave up a couple of runs, but just a couple of solo homers. I think one to Matt Carpenter, if you remember correctly. Matt Carpenter hit a solo home run, and I think maybe Gleyber Torres hit one that day too. Gleyber. And to give it a 2-0 game.
That's another thing. I mean, you know what? Find a way to get Carpenter in there. Why are we still seeing Joey Gallo and Aaron Hicks? Carpenter has come here. He gets on base. He's hit a couple of big home runs. Get the guy in the lineup. They don't want to put Aaron Judge in center field every day. Well, he's a center fielder now. Deal with it. Let him play center field.
Absolutely. So, and then the Rays lost that game on Friday. They had opportunities to they had runners in scoring position. They had a lot of traffic on the bases. They just couldn't get them in. But they ended up splitting the series on Saturday and Sunday. Really nice, but thanks to the help of some Yankees, one of the Yankee pitchers walked the bases loaded and walked in a couple of runs, and then they scored a run on a hit batter. So it wasn't necessarily the Rays offense producing; it was the Yankees gift wrapping Tampa Bay runs. So we'll take that, and we were 4.5 games back kind of at the end of the series, right where we started. So no ground gained, but none lost either with that series. So then the Rays traveled to Arlington, Texas, where unfortunately they just been terrible, man. They lost to the Rangers, lost big time on Monday. I think it was about 9-5, and they lost last night's game on Tuesday by a significant number as well. So and right now, if this score holds, they're 3-2 going into the bottom of the 10th. As we mentioned, though, this game is far from over. So just and overall, just enough of summarizing the games. Let me just get to the real point of the Rays. The bottom line is the pitching is doing their job for the most part. The only discrepancy I would have with that is I would love to see more length out of guys like Ryan Yarbrough. I'd love to see pitchers labor less during games and to increase their pitch count. I'd love to see them get to 5-6 innings by throwing less pitches. That would be nice to see. In terms of the bullpen's fairly locked down except for Ryan Thompson. Thompson's been struggling, man. He's been terrible. But other guys like JP Fireheisen's been great. So has Colin Poche and just so many of the Rays bullpen. Jason Adam has been another lockdown reliever for Tampa Bay. We do have some injury news. Wanda Franco, they finally put Wanda on the disabled list. And let me just say something here. It's about time Kevin Cash put him on the injured list because Wander's had quad issues for quite some time. But you know what? Kevin Cash just said, "Oh, I'll just give him a couple days off. He'll be back. He'll be doing okay." And it may feel good for a while, but nothing has actually been done about the injury as of yet. You're in mid-May. You're in early June. You need to put Wander on the injured list and get the problem taken care of before he aggravates it even worse and has to miss more time than he would originally. So he's on the 10-day IL right now. It's probably going to be a couple weeks. No significant damage to the quad, but according to the MRI, doctors anticipate 2 to 3 weeks before he can get back on the field. And other than that, and then we got guys like Randy Arozarena kind of heating up a little bit for the Rays. It's good to see his bat taken off. But other than that, with Wander out and a guy that's been producing for a while, the offense is going to have to find a way to score without Wanda Franco. And you're going to have to score more than 2-3 runs a night sometimes in order to win games.
Well, let's face it. The Rays offense to begin with is not world. They're not world beaters. They're going to have to pitch if they're going to win. And Wanda Franco, he's been struggling. I think maybe the time off will help him out sometimes to be able to just get a couple of weeks to step away from it and get back in there can get you going again. But, I was surprised the Rays gave him such a big contract off of 1 year. I've seen a lot of young players. Just if you're the Yankees, look at what Gary Sanchez did his first year. The guy came up here and hit like 30 home runs in 20 games. It wasn't that ridiculous, but it felt like that's what it was, Can you imagine the Yankees gave that guy a 10-year deal? we'd be pulling our hair out right now. So, for Rays fans, I hope Franco's going to be the star that they think he's going to be. But what was that contract again? Didn't they give him a huge contract, Trent?
Yeah, it was like, what, 90 million or 80 million, something like that for like 7-8 years?
Yeah, it was a little, usually the Rays don't commit to someone that long term, but they believe in him. And, it's great to believe in a young player, but you just need, to me anyway, you need more of a body of work to really know that this guy's going to be something. Look at Miguel Andujar's rookie season. Again, the 27 home runs, the 90-something RB. You would have thought that Miguel Andujar was going to be one of the top players in the sport, and he's done nothing since his rookie year. So, I was a little surprised by that, and you see how he's playing so far this year. We'll see. We'll see, Trent.
Oh, yes, we will. We really will. By the way, I have to let you know.
You were in awe of my my monologue there, right? You're like, whoa. What
I
did
was.
Rich
I was also
disgusted.
I was also disgusted because Adolis Garcia just hit a single to tie the contest up at 3-3 between the Texas Rangers and the Rays. So yeah. So I was just reading that.
I don't blame you.
we're in the bottom of the 11th, and this game is teetering.
See, last inning you were like, "Yay, Ghost Runner," and then this inning you're like, "No, Ghost Runner."
No, that's how I always am.
Yeah.
I love the fact with the Ghost Runner for my team, especially because our offense is so terrible. At least we have a runner in scoring position. Yeah. So, but anyway,
at least you don't get 19, 20 inning games anymore.
No, you don't. But anyway, that's pretty much up with the sports, man.
That's it for the sports.
It's time to sit down and unwind and listen to the Couch Report.
Yes. Well, got into it with me a little bit already with the Off the Couch Report. I went down to Tampa Bay, had a good time at some of the malls, and met up with old friends, and was able to go to the Yankee Tampa Bay Rays game on Saturday, and it was extremely fun to be at the game. Not Labor Day, Memorial Day weekend. Some big time eating. You know what I tried for the first time, Trent? I'm not sure if you tried. I had Shake Shack.
Oh man, you never had Shake Shack?
I never had Shake Shack before. Yeah, I never.
So good, right?
Definitely one of the best burger places ever. I mean, it tastes like homemade burgers, the cheese, the fries. Oh, so I'm starving just thinking about it. I'll be right back. I gotta go hit up one of these fast food joints.
Yeah, I know. How far away do you live from one?
I think there's one in Orlando. It's the closest one, the Shake Shack.
Well, so take a drive down there, and maybe you'll be back by 7-8 o'clock tomorrow morning.
They're 24-hour, I think, right? I could get out there to get some shake, but I might die of starvation by the time I get down there. It's just too long.
I know,
too long. But yeah, I had Shake Shack for the first time. Also had some Cheesecake Factory. That was pretty good. Nice steak. So a lot of good eating. There was some good eating.
Did you eat at the game?
I did eat at the game. It's always disappointing.
Okay.
Had a hot dog and some, my usual go-to at the game. I'll get a hot dog and some chicken fingers, some fries, a couple of beers. So yeah, it's good stadium food.
You said Tropicana Fields beer is good. Is it still good?
Oh yeah. They have the what is it called again? I can't remember. Coppertail.
Coppertail.
Yeah,
Coppertail.
Beer. It's a Tampa Bay brewery. And they have a couple. We drink the free dive while we're there. It's really good. So yeah, I had a couple of free dives and some chicken fingers and a hot dog. So that was cool. Fun being at the game. The place was packed. It was as sold out as the Trop could be. A lot of Rays fans, a lot of Yankee fans. So it was a good fun time at the ballpark. It was a cool, something special about baseball and holiday weekends, and it was cool to be at a baseball game Memorial Day weekend. It was cool to see that and see the packed house and see the Yankees, even in a losing effort. We mentioned that I'm used to that here in Florida. I am 0-5 now in Florida going to see my teams play. I've seen the Jets lose twice. I've seen the Yankees now lose twice, and I've seen the Knicks lose once. So I am 0-5 at sporting events. I'm sure you want me to go to more Rays games, right?
I do. I would much rather. I mean, that luck may wear off, kind of like everything, but I do. I would like you to go. It seems like they always win. Rich, I called Kevin Cash and told him that you were coming to the Saturday game, and he really put something in the water that his players drink, saying, okay, Rich is going to be here. Make sure that we win. In order to
we need to keep the streak alive. I mean, you mentioned one of the games, Yankees score 7 runs, they win 7-2, and all of a sudden I go and they stop hitting.
That's right.
You score one run in the game I go to? Are you kidding me? I drove 1,000,000 miles to see a Yankee game, and you score 1 run and get 4 hits? Ugh, awful. Very disappointing, Trent. Very disappointing.
I can't say I wasn't thinking about you during the game.
You were laughing at me, weren't you? You were like, ha. Rich is an idiot. He drove
all the way down there.
Yeah. What a loser.
He drove across the state of Florida, if you think about it.
He drove across the state of Florida to see his loser Yankees, and now he's a loser, just like his team.
Loser.
Yeah. That's what you.
I don't know. I have no idea what that was. It's getting late. But it's
that's like a loser after 4 beers. That's how it sounds.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Hey, speaking of the couch report, while you were at the Rays game, I saw a musical legend this past Saturday night.
Alanis Morissette.
Yeah, I wouldn't go to one of her concerts even if I was paid to go.
What? Jagged Little Pill? You're not a fan of the album?
No.
That album made a difference, Trent.
How about one Paul McCartney? Have you heard him?
Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney.
That's that dude from the Cars, right? He's
yeah. Think of airplanes. You know how they have wings? Yeah, that was one of the names of his band.
He's the lead singer of Soundgarden, I think.
No. No. But it was great to see Paul McCartney.
I shouldn't say that. The lead singer of Soundgarden passed away. So.
I know. How dare you?
Yeah, how dare I? I'm a big Chris Cornell fan. He was amazing. Anyway,
I'm sure.
Of course I know Paul McCartney, Trent, the true legend.
The true legend. Yours truly had the chance to see him. It was a beautiful time. We went up to Orlando to Camping World Stadium right off John Young Parkway, if you know where that is.
Oh, yeah.
The John Young Parkway. It's a nice area of Orlando, too. It's really, really cool. But we got to the stadium, and I'm working currently on a real I'm going to go in depth about the concert. I got a highlight coming soon on Super Radio Brothers. We'll work on that.
Can you sing for us on the highlight? Like, I want you, when you're talking about a specific song, just give us a bar, a chorus. And just want to hear you.
You don't even have to wait till the highlight. I can give you one right now while I'm doing it. But
what you got?
I'd rather wait to do it. I'd rather wait to do it on the highlight.
Help! I need somebody. Help! That's the Beatles.
Yeah, that's the Beatles, but that's not. McCartney did not sing lead on that song.
Oh yeah, that's John Lennon, right?
Yeah.
Right?
By the way, bases are loaded for the Texas Rangers in the bottom of the 10th, and it's a 3-3 game, so it's not looking good. But we just never know.
How many outs, Trent?
2.
Oh,
2
okay.
outs.
All right, you can get out of this.
Yeah, you can. And I'm just play the pitch that just barely missed. That could have been called strike 3.
You're a pitch or 2 away from being 0 for 2 tonight. The Rangers defeating the Lightning, and wow, Trent. Your team is going to lose twice to the Rangers tonight.
Twice to the Rangers,
That's
yeah,
amazing.
Just different kind of Rangers.
A New York Ranger and a Texas Ranger.
The headline could be in the paper tomorrow. The city of Tampa, the Tampa Bay area. If the Tampa Bay area hears the name Rangers again, I think they're going to scream.
That should be your headline tomorrow. Rangers ruined my night. That's it, and then you go into it. Texas Rangers and New York Rangers. It's
yeah. Two sets of Rangers ruined Tampa Bay fans' nights last night.
Yeah. Rangers, the bane of Tampa Bay.
Well, right now they live to play another inning because they just got out of it, and Tampa Bay and the Rangers are still tied at 3, going to the 11th inning.
Ooh,
so
it's a long night.
Long
Arlington.
long night. All right. Well, so continuing with the couch report, I went and saw Paul McCartney. What a show! He didn't start on time, by the way.
Oh.
He started. The show was scheduled to start at 8:00. He didn't start till 8:30. Pretty much, and then he came out. That's called anticipatory tension, as
he
a
was
friend of
building
mine
it up.
told me.
That's right. That's right, Trent.
I understand. I get it. But anyway, so that's what happens with that. So he started out. He played some songs from his newer album. He played a song, that he released a few years ago. It's funny because Paul McCartney is very observant, because every time he played an old Beatles song, every time he played a Wings song, the stadium was lit up by cell phone lights, taking pictures, taking videos. But when he performed a new song off of his new album, he said it was a black hole, and basically it was. And Paul McCartney joked. He said, I noticed that when you guys, when we play an old Beatles or Wings song, the lights go on, and vice versa. He said, but we don't care. We're still going to play the new songs anyway. We're going to play what we want to play. And I thought that was hilarious. He made the crowd laugh with that.
Yeah, I'm sure he gets it. Come on. Nobody's going there to hear the new shit. Everybody wants to hear the classics.
I'm going there to hear, like, Hey Jude, which I did hear. That was one of my favorite songs from the concert, was the Hey Jude sing-along, where he had everybody sing the end of that chorus, na, 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 Hey Jude.
Oh, yeah.
And, and
good.
He had everybody sing that.
That was a great rendition, Trent. Let's get a little more of that. No.
Yeah.
I like that.
Hey, Jude.
Now, let me ask you something. Do you remember what does a Paul McCartney open with?
Paul McCartney, what did he open with? Shoot. Well,
I gotcha. You were so full of emotion, you can't remember how the show started.
No, I can't remember off the top of my head. It was with a new song. It was.
That's why you don't remember.
He opened with one of his new ones.
I love Paul McCartney, but that's a dick move. Come on, man. You don't open with a new song. Everybody's anticipating. You make everybody wait 30 minutes, and you start with a new song.
He did. If
man.
I remember correctly. Yeah, he did, because I was going, what is this?
What is this?
And I'm just, I'm sitting there going, he opened with a new song. But one of my other favorite parts of the concert was when, during Live and Let Die, that was a great song, of course, by the Wings. As soon as that part of, the chorus of Live and Let Die started, there was literally a fireworks show. It was neat. They had fireworks kind of going through the stadium, Live and Let Die, boom. I thought that was great. Cool.
It's funny, even, and I'm pretty sure it was a classic song, but I can't remember what the Rolling Stones played first when I saw them. I can't remember.
I can't remember either. It's it was wild. I can't remember. But anyway, that was another favorite part of the song. And then another highlight of the concert was when, Peter Jackson, the director of the Get Back documentary,
and director of Lord of the Rings, more importantly, Trent.
I know, but the more importantly right now, to make it relevant to Paul McCartney, we're talking about
Frodo and Samwise Gamgee are relevant to Paul McCartney conversation, I think.
Well, you think so, but I don't.
Trent, one ring to rule them all. One ring.
One ring.
Yes.
Yes, sir. You got it. Anything you say. So Peter Jackson had this cool thing on the screen where Paul McCartney actually sang a duet with John Lennon, believe it or not, and it was a song called "I Got a Feeling." It was not the Black Eyed Peas song.
I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night.
Yeah, not that one.
Oh,
but that was it was a song that he and Paul McCartney and
tonight. That song,
right? No.
Oh.
But anyway, it was Paul McCartney and John Lennon. They did that song back in the day, and John actually was on the video board recording it, and he was recorded singing a duet with Paul McCartney at the same time, and that was neat. I really enjoyed that. That was a moving tribute. He did that as an encore. He didn't do that during his regular set. He had to wait and do an encore. And then, of course, the last song of his encore, he did like "I'm Going to Carry That Weight" and "You Never Give Me Your Money." It's kind of that's very kind of that whole melody that the Beatles did back in the '60s and stuff. So it was.
I love stuff like that. That's amazing, man. That's the type of thing they could do with technology these days. Kind of create something like that. I saw.
Man. And when I tell you there wasn't a dry eye in the house, there wasn't during that John Lennon tribute. Yeah, that was really cool.
I mean, when I saw Neil Young at the Garden, he did a day in the life in his encore, and that was pretty great too. I mean, it wasn't anything cool like that where you could see them together on stage, or obviously, it means more with McCartney and Lennon, but it was cool to see Neil Young perform a day, tribute. Give a tribute to the Beatles and give a tribute to John Lennon. I mean,
And they did some early Beatles too, and they did, they did like "Love Me Do," and they did a couple. They did "Can't Buy Me Love." I know that's what it was. "Can't Buy Me Love." He opened with that song.
Oh wow, that's a good
from
one.
The "Buy You Diamond Ring, My Friend," and it makes you feel all right. Oh yeah,
like that.
Oh yeah, like that.
Don't you want to be in a band with me?
And look, my observation, Paul's voice isn't the same as what it was, but I mean, who would expect that? I mean, the guy's almost 80 years old. He'll be 80 on the 18th of this month.
I'm pretty sure when I'm 80, my voice is going to be as good as it is right now. Can't buy me love. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's wild. But it's overall, wild. I mean, but seriously, what a show the other night, and I'll get into more details on the highlight. There were a couple of other moments I want to touch on. You'll have to check out our social media and I'll go into more specifics of stories that he told during the show as well during the highlights. So be ready for that. I did see a legend though this past Saturday night in one Paul McCartney.
Yeah, that's great when you get an opportunity to see a legend, and that's something you'll remember for the rest of your life because. Those are rare opportunities to see shows like that. I had a chance to see Dylan. That was incredible. Neil Young. I mean, I've seen a lot of the great bands from my era, whether it's Metallica or Nine Inch Nails, Soundgarden. I pretty much saw everybody. But the legends stand out. Like you saw Paul McCartney, a Dylan, a Neil Young. The Rolling Stones were something amazing to see. There's another guy in Mick Jagger who's almost 80, yet he's dancing around the stage like he's 20. It's something to see. And he still sounds pretty good too, Mick Jagger. So, those legends that were there at basically the formation of rock and roll, it's a rare opportunity to see that for sure.
Oh yeah, and you look at the Beatles were inspired by guys like Chuck Berry, and they were inspired by several others, and other groups were inspired by the Beatles, and it's just amazing. The Beatles were so simplistic, but they had their own style, and that's what made them so good.
The Beatles were inspired by Dylan, they were huge Dylan fans, and Dylan came over and hung out with them, and there were a lot of stories about that. So, and obviously John Lennon eventually wanted to be more like Dylan. Albums like Working Class Hero and stuff like that. So I don't know, just music back then is special. A lot of those artists, to me, they weren't just making music. They were making music that changed the world, that changed music itself. In a lot of ways, I've seen a lot this week about how Steph Curry changed the sport of basketball, and how certain players changed the world of sports and basketball and this and that. Well, I really feel that you had artists back then that changed music, and for that matter, were writing songs that helped change the world. And it's a shame. I don't see that kind of talent in the world artistically anymore. But that's part of what makes seeing a guy like Paul McCartney so amazing, to see a true artist like that on stage, someone who wrote songs that were so important, so, and you saw him perform them. So that's pretty incredible, man.
Oh yeah, that really was, and that's really the my off the couch report. That's basically concludes that. Just what I mean, you talk about if you want more from a couch report, I'm sorry, listeners, but seeing Paul McCartney, you can't really top that.
Yeah, because that's like a life, that's a bucket list. That's a life-changing thing. That's something you'll remember forever. There's a million things we'll mention on the couch report that you won't even think about tomorrow. You'll forget.
I won't even think about him after 20 minutes after you said it.
Yeah,
I won't even. Yeah,
I'll talk about. I saw the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi on Disney Plus. You think I'm going to remember that in 30 years?
No.
But you know what? I'll remember seeing Dylan in 30 years, and you'll remember seeing Paul McCartney in 30 years.
That's right. Absolutely. It was what a great concert, and more to come on a highlight coming soon.
All right, there you go. We're going to hear more from that. Check it out. Super Radio Brothers highlights, YouTube, a lot going on Super Radio Brothers social media. Again, I did see the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi on Disney Plus. So far, okay. I like Ewan McGregor in the role. I liked him in the role all the way back to the prequels. Even though the prequels weren't great, I do not think so far it's as good as Mandalorian, although part of what made Mandalorian so great was the reveal and the surprise of Luke Skywalker at the end of the second season. That's part of what made it great. And of course, the child, Baby Yoda and all that. So Mandalorian has a lot working for it that made it great. So far, Obi-Wan lacks the personality, just the wow factor that, in my opinion anyway, that Mandalorian had in its first 2 seasons. Now we do get a child, Princess Leia, of course, and Obi-Wan watching Luke. We've got a little bit of that, but I don't know. It's just it lacks. It's missing something so far. But to be fair, like I said, what made Mandalorian great was the full series. After you got through it and you're like, wow, that was cool. So I suspect by the 6th episode in Obi-Wan Kenobi, we're going to get a good feel of what makes this great on its own level. And I hope so, because I'm a big Obi-Wan fan. I hope it gets a little better, to be honest with you. But first 2 episodes were passable, and they were pretty entertaining. Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which is a show that's supposed to take place 10 years before the original series, with Captain Pike instead of Captain Kirk. They continue to do a fantastic job, man. I mean, it's really cool. It is an old style of episodic storytelling rather than the serial storytelling that we've gotten used to in everything now. Everything has to be this kind of serialized storytelling. The MCU's kind of created that, and Netflix, and even Star Trek Discovery follows that serial style storytelling, where the original Star Trek series, each episode was its own story. It was a different adventure, something else was going on, and that's a really old school television type of style. And Strange New Worlds is trying to capture that. And basically already they've told every single different type of Star Trek story. They go to a planet in the first episode that's ready to destroy itself in a similar way to Earth in our era can destroy itself in nuclear Armageddon. And that's what Star Trek was always good at, taking themes of the day and applying them to the future. Here's this ultra peacefaring civilization that's overcome all the struggles of humanity 300 years ago. There's no more starvation. There's no more inequality. You're talking about a future human race that doesn't use money anymore. Star Trek is this utopian future for the planet Earth, but we see the old world in new worlds that they discover. So first episode, here's this planet that's about to destroy itself. We even get an episode where it's a COVID type episode. Again, very old school Star Trek. Let's use modern themes and have an episode like that. So they had an episode where there was a sickness on board that they had to find a cure for, a very COVID type of episode. It was an interesting illness too, where when you get the disease, you crave as much light as you can find, right? And that leads to a lot of interesting scenarios. And then you had the return of the Gorn in the last episode, fourth episode, where Gorn, if you're a Star Trek fan, you know who the Gorn are. But again, one of those classic. Now you had a full Enterprise type of episode where you pit the Enterprise against this fleet of Gorn ships, and they fly into a brown dwarf star using the gas giant as cover, very similar to Star Trek II, where they use the nebula to protect themselves against the Reliant and Khan. So they're using a lot of old school Star Trek storytelling techniques, and it's a lot of fun. It's great to see the Enterprise in all its glory in modern, CGI fare. The show just looks great, so you got to dig it. I really dig Strange New Worlds. I think it's great. I think they're doing an amazing job with it. I finished They Call Me Magic, which is the Magic Johnson documentary, and that's coming off of watching Winning Time. So I'm very well versed in the history of the Lakers and Magic Johnson right now, Trent.
Yeah, I hear that.
So I enjoyed that. The Staircase, HBO, brilliant. It actually sent me back to watch some of the original documentary on Netflix of the true crime type of documentary there, and it's fascinating. It really is. And no spoilers, but and I never saw the original documentary, but some of the theories that come out about how this woman died, and again, The Staircase is about this murder mystery, pretty well-off, wealthy husband and wife. She dies in the staircase of the home. To this day, the husband says he didn't kill her, but he was convicted of murder. He was found guilty. So, and a lot of theories out there about what actually happened. So that show is great. So that's basically what I've been watching. Still playing some Evil Dead 2, digging that. I re-downloaded the remake of Resident Evil 2 to play the second half of it. When I did my first run through on that, I did it as Leon. And Resident Evil 2, I'm not the only one, but a lot of people who played video games in the 90s, that might have been your favorite game, Resident Evil 2. And they made a remake a couple of years ago for PS4, which was incredible. The remake is mind-blowing. It was so good that they actually went out and made a remake of Resident Evil 3. So I did get the remake of Resident Evil 2, did the playthrough as Leon, but you're not really done because you have to do the playthrough as Claire too. There are two characters. I remember back in '98 when Resident Evil 2 came out, it was like the first game that came out that had two CDs, 2 discs. It was, the game's so big it needs 2 discs. And yeah, you had to play the game twice. You had to play it as Leon, and you had to play it as Claire to get the full story. So about a year ago, I did the run through on the remake as Leon. I'm kind of barren. It's a barren wasteland for me as far as story games right now. So it's like, let me go back and play through as Claire now. And I've never gotten to the remake of Resident Evil 3 yet. So starting that little journey, that's been fun. It's just, I can't say enough how great I think the remake of Resident Evil 2 is, and I'm sure how great the remake of Resident Evil 3 is. So really digging that. I mentioned Evil Dead and talked about going to the Yankee game in Tampa Bay. All of that was fantastic. And Trent, you know how it is. You come back from vacation, it's like, oh man, now I gotta get back to work.
I know. Well, we did. We did that. I know that feeling back in May, early May, and I know you experienced that this past weekend. So I totally hear you.
How dare you, Trent? I don't know why I said that, but how dare you remind me that I'm not on vacation anymore? Oh,
at least not for now.
Not for now. We're going to be back. I might go back to that. I might head back out to Tampa and give myself a chance to see the Yankees actually get a win against the Rays this year. Maybe it'll happen. We'll see.
Hopefully it happens for you.
Any final words, Trent?
Well, another great show. Keep in mind to keep looking at the Super Radio Brothers social media for highlights and all that, such like that. And we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Yes. In the words of Bob Dylan, time is an ocean, but it ends at the shore. The Super Radio Brothers have finally reached the shore. See ya!
Bye.